Okay, this is the NSF challenge. EOR rendezvous with for lunar landing. What's going on, everybody? We have ablated. We have ablated. Look at this. We finally got warm weather, so I got rid of this. I got rid of the beard because it feels good, man. It feels good not to go outside and freeze. That's great. Who is this man on my screen? I don't know what we're going to use, Nova, but temps are going to drop. Yeah, I know. Now that I did it. We had a string of good weather last week. And now that I did it, it's going to get cold again. But it's all right. Did you lose a bet? No. Oh, no, no. Young EJ, is this a KSP throwback stream? Yeah. You may be getting a tornado outbreak in Maryland. Oh, boy. What's going on, YouTube? Why did EJ get 20 years younger? Oh, jeez. Here we go. Hello, young man. Are you married? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Sam with a 61-month resub. Kuro had an 87-month resub. Thomas had an 8-month before that. Man who had a 29-month resub. Say, Dad's back from getting 6. You guys know I played KSP last week, right? You beardless had played KSP. When Shades? I mean, they're right here. They never really left. You can. What year is it? Do you like the BF6 stream rares? Will you cover the static fire here? I don't know. Yeah, most likely if NSF doesn't need me.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Did you frost tip your hair too? No. No, I did not. Last week to play Winter Car. Yeah, I don't know. Add some grain to the camera and this is perfect. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Max had you cracking up the whole time. It was pretty funny. Yeah, that was a pretty good time. The shades and coaster are different. Yeah, those are the old ones. I got new ones in 2016. These are the new ones. I know. 111-month resub. Thank you. Rad Pat. 9-month resub. 30 inches of throw this morning in central Wisconsin. Now 40 mile an hour wind.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, we just got a lot of rain. Sidewinder. 26-month resub. New look. Are you even old enough to drink now? Yeah, I think so. Your ability to shave it instantly be 10 years younger is impressive. I'm jealous. Now, if only that worked on our backs. I don't have back hair. Dude, I don't know. Genetic lottery, dude. I don't have that. I don't know, homie. Couldn't make that up. But it is looking pretty sharp, man. Dude, it took me a second. I'll be honest with you. I loaded up the camera and looked, and I was like, what? Who is that? That's not me. Like, I had to double take. I shaved yesterday, right? I trimmed it all off, and this morning when I was getting ready to go to work, I was like brushing my teeth in the bathroom mirror, and I was like, who the hell is that? Who is that? That's not me. Like, it was very strange. It was very weird. I haven't done this close of a shave in a long time. Like, I usually just trim it with trimmers and call it a day. No, I was like, all right, springtime, let's go. You know? I mean, it's not spring yet, but yeah. It's, not back hair, you meant back pain. Oh, yeah, yeah. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, actually, yeah, no. Still got a stiff back. Your face is a touch rounder than it used to be. You calling me fat? Call me fat, dude? Call me fat? A little, yeah. Thanks. Dick. Dick. Yeah. I didn't get the genetic lottery X-Wing on the back. The back pain.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Nope. Nope. Didn't win that. Grilani, 127-month resub. Are you going to do a full Artemis 3 recreation? Well, okay. Here's what we're going to do. So... Oh, it's not really genetics, though. It's not really genetics. Drummer, my dad has slip discs. My grandpa had slip discs. I have slip discs. My uncle on my dad's side of the family has slip discs. You cannot sit here and say that that's not genetic. We all have herniated discs. Every single one of us. So, nice try. Help? 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 Pregnant? Help? That was funny, man. If you guys didn't see the Flame Trench After Hours thing that went on.
I'm in space.
Hey, Binary. Gifted 2 subs. Thank you. Help? If you guys didn't see the Flame Trench After Hours VF6 stream with me, Sawyer, Max, and Ryan, first of all, it is not safe for work. Second of all, it was really gosh dang funny. I was just taken aback by the raunchiness that happened. It was pretty good, man. It was pretty funny. That was fun. It was a fun stream. Go watch that. That was a good time. It's safe for work on a construction site. Yeah. Shades bring back memories of the past. You could make Goddard's first rocket. It's his first flight end. Well, I was thinking just playing KSP would be good enough. But it is the 100th anniversary of Robert Goddard's first pressure-fed liquid fuel rocket flight. Robert Goddard from Worcester, Massachusetts, dude. When are you going to take a flight and become an astronaut? From Wash Your Sister, what? Shut up. Frickin' Worcester, dude. I think where he took his flights is a golf course now, which is typical. Typical. Any exciting news from KSA? There's stuff. They got docking figured out the other day, so that's pretty good. Whenever I see recipe videos online, they all meme the name is Wash Your Sister sauce. It's Worcester shit. You would be looking up recipes online, Grav. That makes a lot of sense. What does that even mean? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. All right. Let's go. Let's roll. Here we are. All right. So I'm just going to load up an engineering mode save and we'll go from there. Hey, Rob, what's going on? We got a cool guy today? Yeah. Got a cool guy. All right. How not safe for work is it? Is it okay for someone who looks your age to watch it? Are we just going to roast me the entire day? Is that what's happening? Or, please don't do that. But, I mean, whatever. Whatever. It really does look like. I see people linking it in the back in the Discord back channel, and it definitely does look like 2015 or 2016. Love the new look. Thank you, Blark. Thank you. I always said that you look like you're the Mark Ruffalo of NASA Space
this
Flight.
is space. I'm in space.
I mean, all right. The Hulk, baby. All right. Stormcrasher gifted a sub to Max. All right. Are you ready for the wicked windstorm coming later? I hope you don't have another disaster. I mean, truth be told, Jim, no, I'm not. But, you know. You ever had to replace the tank pressure sensor in your Mustang? No, but asterisk that situation. My, the Mustang is running a 0442 engine code right now, meaning that the tank vent system has a leak somewhere. So, maybe in the future, illness, maybe. Someone ordered Tom Cruise from Temu. Yeah. Do I need to sit here and fly an F-14 here or something? Because I think I have mine load up. Actually, I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah. Oh, hello. What's up, Paul? How you doing? That rain last night was so loud. Dude, the wind blew off a cover on one of the cars in the backyard, and I had bricks.
Discovery, go at throttle.
I had freaking bricks on top of the cover to make sure that that didn't happen. Still happened. I was a little bit taken aback by the wind again. I really hope more trees do not come down. Let's go here. All right. Start off with a nice flight here. Time to upgrade the cinder blocks. Bro, I'm trying not to mess up the paint on some of these cars. It has the gas cap, Coltec. There we go. So I do have my Tomcat here. It's not bad, but yeah, it's pretty good. Might be target practice for the That's a little dangerous. Splitting the throttles? We gotta get low. The terrain will confuse his targeting system. No, that's not how that works at all. But you know what? Don't care. Still a good movie. Because I was inverted. You know, we were maintaining diplomatic relations. You know, giving him the bird. You know, the finger. Oh, sorry, it just does that. No, I'm manually controlling it, Nader. I have it on manual override. It's not bound to avionics. I never did that. It's not like the real one, dude. I could. I don't know what those brakes are, but they're pretty damn good brakes. What's EOR? Earth Orbit Rendezvous.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Globo! Good luck, have fun. Thank you. I saw a 10 by 10 tent weighted down with bricks turned into a catapult. Yeah, dude, the winds are nasty out here. It's okay, this isn't an F-14A.
Oh, this is space.
Well,
I'm in
back.
space.
Dude, sorry I missed you this weekend, man. Yeah. Time got away from me. It's a big surprise. Thanks for the $5, man. We definitely got to talk, though. Definitely. All right, cool. Sounds good. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. You should be my Rio and DCS in the Tomcat. I think we'd have a blast doing that. I mean, I'm kind of about that life, dude. Maybe we should. All right. Oh, it says EOR. Yeah, I did it that way on purpose. I know, ATM machine. But saying EO Rendezvous sounds ridiculous. Maybe I'll change it to Earth Orbit Rendezvous for lunar landing. Anyway, so got a quick flight in with the Tomcat. There we go. Yeah, we should be good now. Who are you and where's EJ? Don't worry about it. Thanks, Nikki.
Discovery,
Earth Orbit
go and throttle up.
Rendezvous? Yeah, we've established that is what that says, yes. we've established this. This is the EJ wants to get carded to make himself feel younger. I mean, dude, I think I'm pulling it off pretty good, man. Not everybody could get rid of their beard and be like, what's going on here, you know? It's no, see, guys, the beard is ablative, all right? It's thermally ablative. When we go to re-enter, it ablates off, but it grows back. I am pioneering biological re-entry ablation for regenerative heat shields. Does that make sense? So you burned it off. Yeah. Yeah. Get ready to learn the slang then. Scooby-Doo toilet, Idaho blender, Scooby snack. Is it good enough? All right, cool. That sounds good. I think the Phantom is multi-crew capable too. The Phantom, you say? The Phantom, you say? I love F4s, man. I know it's old. I get it. But it goes fast, and I like things that go fast. Is Orion also testing this? Turbo. Hey, Jax, what's going on? Dude, I haven't been around, but I swear when time passes, you're supposed to go forwards, not backwards. Sorry. Age is just a number. Did you use a circular sander in your garage to shave? No. No, I did not. All right, so we need Earth Orbit Rendezvous. So Max challenged me in a flame trench. He was like, in the flame trench last week, he was saying like, oh, you know, I was like, you know what would be a really good idea if they made, what's the right way to say this? Okay, so we were talking about SLS with the Block 1 standardized architecture, right? That's what was going on. We were talking about that. And I was like, if ULA is making the Centaur 5 upper stage for the Block 1 standardized configuration for SLS. So that means the Centaur 5 is going on top of the core stage with an Orion on top of that, right? And I was saying, if ULA re-implements their advanced cryogenic evolved stage, or ACEs for short, it'll basically give you a fully fueled Centaur stage in low Earth orbit that has the possibility for loiter capability. So loitering capability in spaceflight is the ability to stay up there without, without the spacecraft running out of power or propellants boiling off, etc., etc. ULA ran out they did propose their ACES concept a little while back for their Cislunar 1000 architecture. That ultimately didn't happen, but all I'm saying is that you could take that idea and you could apply it to SLS, and if you did, you would have a pretty good architecture here. Meaning, so if you launch Orion and Centaur on the B1S version of SLS, and then you took something like New Glenn or Falcon 9 or whatever, right? Vulcan, doesn't matter. And you use that to launch a lander, right? You could theoretically rendezvous the lander in low Earth orbit with Orion and a Centaur, and then you could shoot that all out to translunar injection, and use the Centaur with the loitering capability to circularize around the moon, separate the Centaur, use the lander to go down to the surface, right? Come back up, re-rendezvous, a two-stage lander, like the LEM almost, right? And rendezvous with Orion and come back. Easy peasy. You could do something like that. You could get away with it. And Max is like, why don't you do it in Kerbal? And I'm like, all right. And he's like, well, I bet you can't do it in Kerbal, like, in one shot. And I'm like, dude, it wouldn't take me that long to get that figured out. I don't think you understand who you're talking to. Max has never played KSP. Admit it, you miscalculated re-entry and saw more ablation than anticipated. No, this was intentional. Hey, Sputnik, what's going on? Why does EJ look my age right now? Hey, RJ, what's up, dude? Who are you and where is EJ? Yeah, Kenshin, I'm still here. Still here. Also, wasn't Max baiting you into playing KSP? I'm like, brother, I don't think you understand who you're talking to here. I don't think, no, you don't understand. You don't understand who you're talking to here. So, we're going to get that done. That's what we're going to do. So, the first thing we need to do is, I need a B1S standardized SLS here. That's what we need. So, that's what we're going to do. So, let's find it. I'm sure... Let's see, is this it? That is absolutely not it. Looks good, though. That has the EUS on top of it. Eh. Meh, I could do better than that. Glad we're having a 2015 throwback week over my spring break. Yep. Where the hell is it? Hold on. Chopstick arms on pad 2 are now open. I swear to gosh, if they're gonna do this now, aren't they? They're gonna do it right now. Carrier concept, chicken nugget, MG, Condor 9. Alright, we're gonna have to go into the other saves. What save would it be? Career mode 25. You know, maybe default. No, is it not CTS 5 HLV? Well, that's more like direct, Pigzig. I mean, we're gonna have to modify it into SLS, I suppose. Okay. Kerbal just is not happy. Methane and locks, chill down, and roadblock is in place. Okay. Let me check NSF. Hold on. You have an hour or so. Well, NSF knows I'm available, so I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, we might end up doing that. So, here, let me reload and make sure we're loading up into the right save. This is not what we want. Even though that is a pretty good vehicle for KSP. That's not what I want. So tired, I learned so much about Titan yesterday. Hell yeah. Crazy rocket, goalie. No. This is in fact... That is in fact not it, but also... You guys like Avatar? No, we're not flying that. I'm not doing that. Let's go back over here. That has some good stuff in it, but that's not what we want. King, you have no idea. You only came in with mission mode. With mission mode 2. I built some nutso stuff back in the day. All right, let's go HLV, right? I think you guys know the damn craft names better than I do at this point, which is ridiculous. Ah, yes, here it is. Oh, yeah. Now, once again, this is direct. This is more direct than anything. It's definitely not... That's not SLS. It's not big enough. But we might be able to do it with direct. Direct might be good enough for Kerbal. You ever build a Saturn V? Yeah, many times, actually. I had a career mode save blocks back in the day. I had a career mode save back in the day where I basically built a modernized Saturn V and a modernized Saturn 1 and went ham on, yeah, the solar system. It was, well, I didn't get past doing it because we found another thing to do, but yeah, that was a really good save. That career mode save was fun. Overclock the SRBs to emulate 5th segment. Well, that... Big Zig, what we really should do is just make the SRB long enough to be a 5th segment, or long enough for a 5th segment, like extend it, right? And basically shoehorn like a thumper in the SRB here. Shoehorn another SRB in the SRB so we have the added liftoff thrust, but we still get the burn time. This is not a center RS-25, it's a skipper engine. So that would be like having 5 RS-68s. It's yeah, pretty good. But fellas, we might be able to do this with direct. Actually, I'm pretty sure we do not need that. Skipper block 2. What are these overclock to? 121. Career mode Saturn 1 was epic. That was a good save, RT. That was a good time. We should do that again someday. I did have a career mode save going, guys. We still, and it has a really, really nice Orion capsule that we made. What did I call it? The Taurus? The Taurus capsule. The Taurus capsule's mint, and I'm absolutely using the Taurus capsule with this. But I'm fairly confident we can do this with direct. I could do this way. I would need to rebuild my vehicle stage adapter, but then again, so does SLS. But look, this vehicle can do 36 tons into low Kerbin orbit. That should be more than enough. What I need to do is actually build a Centaur 5. Yeah, we need to build a Centaur 5. I don't think I've ever done that. I cloned Moon Crane, and it's amazing. I built my entire Minmus base with it, and it works like a charm. Moon Crane. Oh, the Moon Crane's a good idea, dude. It works. I typed it wrong. Whatever. I do have a Centaur here. I didn't call it a Centaur, though. I call it a Puma, because the Centaur is an imaginary creature, and so is the Puma. What about New Glen 9x4 with Centaur and Orion? We could do that. I mean, fellas, how unhinged do we really want to get here? Because I have the Puma. Anybody know what that is? Centaur G. I don't know if you guys remember the Mission Mode 3 rules save that we did back in the day. But I launched a Centaur upper stage. This is a Centaur G upper stage, or at least an analog to it. I launched this on a space shuttle. We launched it on a space shuttle. We launched it up into space. It went out, delivered its payload, came back. I wrangled it with the space shuttle, put it back on its dispenser, and brought it back down. How much mass is this? 17? Yeah, I made a reusable Centaur stage. Now, that's not exactly what Aces is, though. That's the thing. I had to take a second look to make sure this is an EJ stream. He looks too clean looking and lost like 15 years. Dude, I'm actually kind of amazed. It's kind of ridiculous, dude. Like, what is happening here? I double taked in the mirror this morning because I trimmed my beard. Well, trimmed it, shaved it yesterday. And I was getting ready to go this morning. I'm like, who the hell is that? That's not me. It was very weird. The road is closed. All right. Let me get direct out. Let's get direct out and let's just verify that that thing can do what it can do. Who the heck is this guy? Now bring back the classic rock and send the Shuttle Nerva to Minmus. Shuttle Nerva. I was doing For All Mankind stuff before For All Mankind, man. All right. So I don't want to get too unhinged with this, I suppose, because I said I would be able to do it really quickly. So let me get direct out, and I believe we should be able to use that. So I have CTS-5 HLV Block 1. What is this? 1B. Oh my goodness, I put an Earth departure stage on top. Nice. Henrys, I have as a relatively new viewer, been watching 1.5 years. I wish I had the time to go back and watch your old KSP series. Dude, they were legendary. They were really good, man. I'm bumming that the Vodpocalypse got it, but yeah. I still have all the crap files, dude. I backed up everything. Alright, let's see how... 81 tons to Leo. Let's see how this thing works. So this is not SLS, it's direct. It's a little bit different. Let me just run through my AGs and make sure I understand what's going on here. Yep, 4 is SRB SEP, just like my shuttle. 0 is ignition sequence. 1 is SVI. All right, this should be pretty easy to fly. 2 minute 50 seconds for separation on the SRBs. Or no, 1 minute 50. Closer to Ares 5? No. This is direct. Here, let me show you. So after Constellation got canceled, there was a here, let me pause the music for a second. This was a proposed architecture under the, actually, this wasn't after Constellation was canceled. This lost to Constellation. Actually, hold on. Late 2000s proposed architecture, supporting NASA's VSC that would replace the, yeah, okay, I had it right the first time. Yep. So this was a competitor compared to SLS. It was either do this or do SLS. This was like the two prevailing architectures. Now, what this does here, instead of switching to a 5-segment SRB, right? This used 4-segment SRBs, just keep the shuttle supply chain going, and that is more or less an external tank. It's the external tank, but instead of a point on the top, you have a cylindric external tank. And then you have a thrust structure, an MPS down the bottom that utilized RS-68s. Direct was a Hail Mary to save most of Constellation. Yeah. It was a low-cost solution. Yeah, so basically, it's a shuttle stack without... It actually is a shuttle stack without the shuttle. That's it. And this was proposed to keep all the shuttle supply chains in place. Something that ultimately didn't happen. And then... eventually, they would have gotten Orion going, and with Orion, they would have been able to do a better upper stage, etc., and then put that same fairing that they designed on top of that upper stage. It actually is not a bad idea. And honestly, if you kept going with the shuttle program and did this at the same time, we probably could have just, that probably would have been cheaper than spending all the money on SLS. So the thing about SLS is that because you're using the 5-segment SRBs, you needed to extend the core stage, and that extending the core stage required extensive redesign. The core stage is not a shuttle external tank. It is way different. It just looks the same on the outside, and it's the same diameter. It's not the same thing. The manufacturing methods to make it are completely different. So part of the reason why SLS took so long, I mean, this is only part of the reason. The biggest reason is that it was flat funded, which was not great. Part of the reason why it took so long is because they needed to rebuild the entire tooling mechanism for the external tanks at Michoud. They needed to rebuild it. You can't make SLS with the tooling for the shuttle external tank. This would have done that. Now, you would have had less capability, right? It wouldn't be able to do what SLS can do. However, I'll take a mass manufacturable vehicle that can do less than SLS over redoing the entire SLS tooling line. I think that's really dumb. But that is basically what this is. That's what this rocket is. It is exactly derived from my space shuttle, my CTS 5th generation vehicle, which is my shuttle stack. Interim stages are permanent or otherwise hurt the program. Hellfish, I still believe to this day, granted I do have the benefit of hindsight of saying this, I still believe to this day that if we just developed the EUS with SLS at the same time and funded it appropriately, that we would have been fine. Just my opinion, though. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a pretty easy opinion to have. But yeah, so if you guys are wondering, this is my 5th gen shuttle. It is one of the best vehicles I've ever made in KSP. Hinris, if you're still out there watching this, I do believe my CTS 5 build series is still intact. I cranked this shuttle orbiter design out in a week. This is, I'll be honest with you guys, this is when I was at the height of my game in KSP 1. I cannot build better than this. From scratch. From scratch. I could probably make upgrades to the orbiter, but it doesn't get better than this. This shuttle works almost exactly to a T how the real one works, but in stock KSP. Taking what the real shuttle does and doing it in KSP stock is that's a hard thing to do. The Strake is the panel tessellator. The tessellator machine. I was building machine tooling in the SBH to make that shape. Look at that shape. It doesn't look as complicated as it is, but then you look at it and you're like, huh. Thank you, Bun Sister. You created an orbiter with replaceable modules. That's not peak? Yeah, that's fair. Hey, Not a Cat. 62-month resub. Thank you. The road is closed. Yeah, this shuttle is... Like I said, that's the shuttle that I used to go and rope a Centaur G. How I roped my Centaur G back is because I have a robotic arm on it. It's a robotic arm that I'll admit, I didn't come up with the idea of using the antennas for the robotic arm, but that was Rocket Guy's idea, an actual aerospace engineer. Still talk to Rocket Guy, he's around. But yeah, I roped the Centaur G and brought a Centaur G back down. This shuttle, like I said, all the lights in the payload bay are in the same place as the space shuttle. The flag is in the same spot. The antennas are in the same spot. The airlock's in the same spot. Everything, the longeron pins are exactly where they need to be. You could use a crane in KSP and put new modules in this if you really want to. So, yeah. I took this and I built direct with it for fun one day. And this is what we came up with. Dude, I kind of want to do a sandbox career mode save where we... Or maybe like continue another one of my... Actually, continuing the MM3 save would probably be a good idea. To using this and the shuttle at the same time, that would be pretty sick. Hey, Ollie, it's been a while since I caught a stream. How are you doing? I'm doing, man. Anyway, before the road closure, let's see if this thing actually works. I want to validate that this can move what it can move into, what I think it can move into space. I said 81 tons baseline capacity to Leo. I'm not sure we hit that mark with this thing, but we'll see. All right. Verify that SRB pins are all aligned. Yep. Okay, we got good alignment on the pins.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Okay. TVC is locked out. Good. Okay. We are go for ignition sequence start. Yep. All right, that works. FRF enabled. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster. Got liftoff. Cleared the pad. Got a roll program. Pitch over. Oh, that looks so good, dude. Man, we were cooking. Look at this thing. Throttling back for maximum dynamic pressure. Vehicles in the transonic regime. We are past maximum dynamic pressure. Go at throttle up. Copy, go at throttle up. Boosters are looking a little hot. Thrust tailing off on SRB, standing by for separation. I think I may have rolled the wrong way. We were supposed to be wings down and we're wings up, but whatever, it's fine. Those SRBs still did what they were supposed to do, so. It's supposed to fly upside down into space. That's why the SRB set was not right, but it was on time, so. This is why I wanted to do a shakedown flight with this thing. It wasn't clean because it was upside down, dudes. Stand by for fairing separation. We're not staged, right? Oh yeah, we are. Fairing separation confirmed. Wait, those tanks are 81 tons, right? The S3 14400. I think that is 81 tons. This should flame out just before circularization. Okay, there's Miko. 55 meters a sec. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That's actually real good. Mint. This actually does pretty much exactly what I wanted to. The only thing that was that I turned the wrong way. We got to turn wings down. I need to be 180 over. But other than that, this works great, actually. Actually, now that I'm really... Go away. Now that I'm really thinking about it, dude, this thing, direct would be really good for a B1S architecture. Yeah, I can't do that, Animal. I kind of... Let's say that ship sailed and call it a day. Let's just make sure this deorbits here. Okay, cool. We can bonk that. Direct with a Centaur on top is actually pretty good. All right, so let me just check the S314-400. That's this tank. It is 81 tons. I thought it was 36. Dude, I'm forgetting the massive components in Kerbal. No. No. Can't have that. No. We can't. Can't do that. That's not acceptable. Tornado watch issued for you. Be safe, guys, please. Don't screw around with that stuff. That's right, Eukerman. Here I am. The bigger upper stage they had for direct were neat. Common dome tankage with either J2X or 6RL10s. Dude, that is actually what I have for my 1B variant. I have that direct departure stage. It's the winds, Wisp. Yeah, I know. I'm worried about the tent that's covering the 59 again. I have the tent bungeed down to cinder blocks, so maybe that'll work. I'm probably going to have to check on it in a little bit. As long as if the tent moves around, that's fine, Shaw, but I might need to... I think I'm going to ratchet strap the tent to the truck. I think that might be what we should do. Because the 59 ain't going nowhere. But Freb got damaged from where the tent blew off when over winter break. Which I'm still pissed off about, but whatever. It just gives me an opportunity to make it better. Ground stakes. Can't go into the ground. It's still pretty frozen, but yeah. I have ground stakes for it, Electron. I just gotta gotta go do it. I fixed my damn storm door on the front of the house over the weekend, dude. I had to sit there and do that. My grinder and the Dremel and everything are down in the freaking house because the storm door got ripped off of its hinges during the snow blizzard. Lovely. Don't ask. I don't think I ever told you guys about that story, but hey, whatever. Last rocket thought experiment. From you? No. What's up? What if we did an 11-meter diameter direct and a 6-meter diameter Centaur-like stage? That's roughly double the size of direct and Centaur. I feel like diminishing returns would appear. In Kerbal or in real life? The whole point of direct, Ponzister, was to just keep using the shuttle tooling, which is a really good idea and something that we probably should have done. Can you imagine? Actually, direct was really not a bad idea. Direct... You know what? I'll go so far as to say that direct should have been the Constellation program. How about that? How about that? It doesn't get you everything that you're going to need to do with the Constellation program, like building the big vehicles up in space, but you could grow it into something else over time. Storm Door got sacked for the storm. Yep. Any Timberborn on the docket with the 1.0 release? I don't know, maybe. I have a blizzard if you want all the snow. Nope. I had enough snow. You can have it. Probably would have protected Constellation. Yeah, using the shuttle tooling would have been a really good idea. Like I said, Direct isn't the best architecture, right? But a Direct was forecasted. Direct, you could do Constellation with this. Heck, you could do Artemis with this. Artemis would be easy to do with this. You could do. So think about this. Think about this, and guys, not think about this. This is probably what we're gonna do. So this version right here, the second version of Direct with Orion on top of it. That one. That with a Centaur stage behind it. That's doable. That's a really good idea. Remember how I was talking about how I think Centaur needs a forward load reactor? And then on top of all that, you could co-manifest payload. Heck, you could put Centaur with a lander on top of that and huh. Thank you, Pigeon. My question was, increasing fuel and thrust doesn't matter. Increasing fuel and thrust 2 times doesn't mean 2 times the payload. I wanted validation. Oh, yeah. No, it doesn't. Cerebral, sorry if this is explained. Why is there a round dome on top of Orion? That's the LAS, the launch abort system. Orion has that. SLS has that with Orion. It's the launch escape system. Here, I'll show you. Or it's not called launch escape system on Orion because Northrop Grumman wanted to be different or something. Watch.
4.
So this is the Orion Ascent Abort 2 test, the AA2 test that was a little while ago, at this point. So what NASA did here, Cerebral, is put an Orion boilerplate, so basically a mass simulator for Orion with the dud heat shield behind it, but a real launch abort system. See the dome piece? There's an Orion sitting in there. You can see the hatch for it right there, but it's a mass simulator. It's just a boilerplate. I'll show you what this does.
2, 1, ignition.
And what they did was they shoved a Minotaur first stage, so an ICBM first stage behind all that, inside of that fairing, to simulate the max Q conditions that are encountered during an SLS ascent. And then they triggered the launch abort system. So why is what's that dome piece for? That dome piece is your structural, it's an aerodynamic fairing first and foremost for the Orion capsule, but it is your load path carrier for pulling the capsule away. You'll see it here in a moment. So watch. The Minotaur first stage is in here, and all this is with the look like QR code looking instrumentation on it. That's so they could see orientation of the vehicle. This is all a dud. From here up is real. That's a real launch abort system. That's the one that's on Artemis 2 right now. It's not the exact one, but it's the same design. This test was 2019, if I'm remembering right. Now watch. KSP Boga. Man, I was wearing aviators before Kit Boga. I'm just saying, but Kit's cool. I like that guy. Watch.
10 seconds.
So there you go. See?
Aborted.
So you can see the shroud is right there, and Orion, it's the ejector seat. It takes it with it. On top of being the aerodynamic fairing, it's the mechanical carrier for pulling the capsule away. Orion separates at its heat shield with the launch abort system.
Pyros 1 and 2 discharge both sides.
Now watch. This launch abort system is pretty cool, if not a little bit on the complicated side. So what this LAS does is you still have to jettison the shroud. So this, Northrop Grumman figured out a way to modulate solid rocket booster thrust. Yes. There's SRB RCS up at the top of this thing. Watch. It'll flip it over. See, you can see it pulsing right there. Watch. And it'll induce a pitch, right? It'll flip it over, right? And then it'll poop the Orion capsule out. Ready? So the launch abort system separator engines will fire, and it'll poop the Orion capsule out. And, you know, people are saying, EJ, poop the Orion capsule out? What do you mean? Watch. Watch over here.
Pyro 3 and 4, discharge both sides. Script power enabled.
See? Cerebral, that's what that dome piece is. How many G's do you want with that? Yes. It looks like NSF has enough people, dudes. Ryan's over there, Max is over there, Alex is over there, Sawyer's over there. Yeah, it looks like they got enough people. I guess I'm in the bullpen today. That's fine. Glasses, shave, what's next? Crashing a shuttle and crashing out? Reliving the lost years of the stream? What if I want to? I told you guys 2020 EJ would be coming back. Wumbo maxing. I mean, this is more like 2016 EJ, but hey, whatever. Throwback. So yeah, Cerebral, that's what that whole thing does, see? I still think that's cool. The Orion launch abort system is actually pretty cool. It's a pretty cool piece of kit. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty neat. I built that, fellas, for what it's worth. We made that in our last career mode save, and I validated it in KSP. It works really well. EJ looks younger. Since EJ looks younger, it's now Wumbo mogging. It would be in the career mode 25 save. The launch abort system is not reusable. There it is. Yeah, Cerebral, we made this thing in, we made it in our career mode save. Hey, I didn't say it, chat did. And, dude, this has the separatable fairing. Guys, that's not one fairing. That's all separatable. This is the Taurus capsule. Yeah, that was hard to make. Maybe it, I don't know if I named it. No, I didn't. We just called it the crew capsule prototype. And the crazy thing is that it's sequenced on an ignition controller. Watch. I have it on a Cal controller. The reason why was the UX behind the capsule, so you couldn't trigger the abort system post-flight. Or once you're on orbit. You can't trigger the aborter. My abort system sequencer is actually on the LAS in this design. I remember we had a whole conversation about safety with that, and we went through like safety analysis in our career mode save for figuring that out. That was pretty cool. Now watch. Here, I'll show you. I look 10 years younger. Yep. Now watch this. Now watch this drive. Oh boy. Jeb, Bill, and Bob are on board. Better not screw it up. See? Validated and tested, baby. I ain't saying nothing. Yeah, the Taurus capsule is probably... I'd say that the Taurus capsule to all the capsules that I've made over the years is what Collins 5 is to all the shuttles that I've made. That's the best capsule. I don't think I can make a better one than this. This thing rules. It's really, really good. And it has the potential to be reusable because I put a docking port in the heat shield and we could reattach. You obviously can only reuse it until the ablator runs out, but yeah, theoretically it could be mission mode reusable. Theoretically. No. Did you do that capsule? Are you serious? I just told you that a moment ago. Thanks, Ty. You could always get an engineer to weld on a new heat shield. It's only node attached, phone sister. So if we could get an engineer to node attach that heat shield at full ablator, we could probably do it. But that's one thing I never went into with mission mode because I didn't trust it, because it was very unknown behavior, is the Kerbal construction. I wanted to get into doing that with Dart, but the Dart program failed because of me. Because of my inability to validate testing. And that's why I'm so anal retentive about that, because like when I'm talking about what's going on in the real space program, because if you don't validate it, it's just an analysis at that point. Like Orion's heat shield, for instance. Believe me, I know where bad validation gets you. It gets Jeb in a coffin. Nobody wants that. If we could figure out nuclear and stuff. Oh yeah, just figure out nuclear and stuff. Do you think we can get a nuclear Saturn V and stuff? Yes. Figuring out nuclear and stuff could get us a Saturn V and stuff. Yes. Yeah, sure. Sure. Yes, that would work. I mean, that'd be nice, but I don't think we're going to. Just, do you think if we figured out warp drive and stuff? Like, that'd be good? Yes, Chris. Yeah, and stuff. Nuclear and stuff. Yeah. And stuff. Yeah. We probably could. Rockets and stuff. I like that, Chris. I like that. You just get rockets and stuff. You know, like, we just figure out how to do rockets. Like, just figure out how to do rockets and stuff. It'll be fine. No, a nuclear-powered Saturn V would be sick. That'd be really useful. I do believe I made the nuclear upper stage, Chris, for it at some point. I don't remember what save that's in, though, dudes. Maybe the original... See, that's my first career mode save. Default 179. I never named it because I have no idea what I was doing. This has all the Jebstone stuff in it. So my modernized Saturn V is in here somewhere. Jebstone 4N. Jebstone 4N. Wait a minute, hold up. Oh. Yep. That is what I think it is. That is a tricore nuclear upper stage on top of an Ares 1. Yeah. Yeah, we got a little unhinged in that save. Yeah. Yeah, that's tricore Ares 1. It has a nuclear upper stage, and that nuclear upper stage has a grapple fixture attached to the front. I'm not 100% sure what we were trying to do here, but I'm sure it was pretty good. That's not what I was trying to do, though. Gemstones. Oh, no, that's not the right one. I didn't read the Roman numerals correct. Wait a minute, that's just my modernized Saturn V. I thought wait, now I'm confused. Gemstone 6 was the... Oh yeah, there's Gemstone 6. Yeah, okay. You know, if you stick a plunger on your forehead, you know, you could be a unicorn. It's a flyback S1C blocks. That's a Saturn V first stage that can turn around and fly back and land on a runway. So think like Saturn V first stage, Saturn V third stage, right? Low Earth orbit access vehicle, but the first stage can actually turn around after Miko, boost back, and then like Falcon 9, and then just land on a runway. Yeah, yeah. Gemstone 5 BC. Here's the modernized Saturn V. It has a parachutable first stage, which is horribly unrealistic, but... And then I did my forward load reactor idea with this. And I actually probably could get away with using that like doing that like a fairing, but... Yep, there's our S4B. This thing was a monster, dude. This modernized Saturn V. It was pretty damn good. I just took a Saturn V and I made the MPS. I took a Saturn V and the bottom engine section, I made it look like SLS, but with Saturn V engines. The reality of this is that probably wouldn't have worked. The F1 engines would have melted each other. Part of the reason why the bottom of the Saturn V has those little nacelles and fins on the back is because they needed to space these engines apart because they were worried about them melting. And even then, guys, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, like, some high-def footage of a Saturn V launching, yeah, here, hold up.
We have been given the scientific
They're
knowledge,
still wrapped in
the
asbestos.
technical ability,
And the materials to pursue the exploration of the universe. To ignore these great resources would be a corruption of a God-given ability. Headphone users, this gets a little loud, but I'm not gonna not watch a Saturn V launch here, so
10,
no.
9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
It looks like asbestos to me, Philly. That's what I was told from people that worked on the program. Are you sure it's Inco foil? I'm pretty damn sure it was asbestos. I mean, knowing aerospace is probably a combination of things, but here, look, the engines are wrapped because of the thermals. Because the F1 engines are so ridiculously, they get so damn hot. I mean, when you yeet out that much power. I like that. right, freeze it, tank. Freeze it, tank. Rewind. So look, see the engines? They're all wrapped. I'd like to actually see if we can find more info on this now, Philly, now that you say that, dude. Because that looks like asbestos to me. And I had at the Saturn V Center, I had a docent at KSC tell me that it's asbestos. And then Scott Manley had a video about it too that said it was asbestos. Do you think they lined the asbestos with Inco? Oh, that would be a thing. I mean, yeah, that would keep the heat out, you know, like. Bye. Space shuttle. It was Inco over asbestos, so we're both right. Yeah. I mean, you know, okay, cool, man. Knowing the Apollo engineers, they probably threw whatever worked at the wall. All right, wrap it in asbestos. Okay, that's not enough. Put an Inco layer on top of it. Screw it. Anything that'll keep them from not working. You know, like. Hey, baby. Woof. But see, so check this out. See how the engines are kind of... The engines all aren't underneath the rocket. The 4 outer engines on the Saturn V are actually kind of on the rim of the engine section, so to speak. They had to. One, because the Saturn... Not a lot of people know that in the preliminary design review, they figured out... NASA engineers figured out that the Saturn V was supposed to have 4. It was supposed to have 4 F1 engines in it. And they figured out that that wouldn't be enough because they didn't get the mass analysis right on how heavy some of these components would be. So very much like the Starship program, they were trying to pull mass out of the design of the vehicle. Very much like how, you know, Starship Block 3 has 3 grid fins instead of 4. Great example, right? They were trying to pull mass out of the design. That is how common bulkheads got made too. Another thing that Starship uses. The S2 has a common bulkhead. The S1 does not have a common bulkhead. It's an intertank design. The reason why is because they couldn't use a common bulkhead down here with the loads encountered from 7.5 million pounds of thrust, or about 35,000 kilonewtons for the metric folks. So they had to save mass. And what that eventually, they figured out in the PDRs in the early 60s that they wouldn't be able to use 4 engines. They'd need 5. But von Braun was insistent on overbuilding the MPS, overbuilding the thrust structure for the S1C. Not a lot of people know this, right? So even with 4 engines, he insisted on making a beefed up thrust structure. And this is the foresight that guy had. Like, you can say whatever you want about that dude. Yeah, I get it. He's certainly done some screwed up things in the past. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he didn't. But in the applications of systems engineering, he knew to build out the bottom of that MPS, the main propulsion system. He knew to build it out with that crossbar right there. See that thing? See the crossbar? That's the exact piece that I'm talking about. This crossbar basically kept this shape it kept it from deforming. Think about like how a sway bar works on an automobile. Same idea, except it's welded all together. Now you could see right here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You could see the 4 original mounts, right, for the engines. You see the gimbal is mounted on the rim of the MPS. Actually very similar to where the outer ring of Raptor 3s on Super Heavy are mounted. You know, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. But they were originally going with 4 engines, and then they decided because of their mass that they needed more TWR, so they added a 5th. And even then, that was almost not enough. Saturn V took off at 1.1 thrust to weight ratio and endured a pretty nasty grav loss in the beginning of its ascent. But remember, time is of the essence. So that ended up being a very easy retrofit to do once they got to critical design review for the Saturn V. Just add another engine. Because Von Braun knew. He knew to build out the thrust structure more than what you need just in case. Because time. That's really good foresight and systems engineering. Like, he's really good at it. That is also the other reason. The other thing, not a lot of people know this. The other thing is that the center engine on the Saturn V has no thrust vector control. It's the outer 4 engines that have TVC on the Saturn V. Because they just said, why make the center engine work? Why do that? We don't need to make the center engine turn. There's no point in doing that. The outer 4 engines give you all 3 axes of control. So the center engine, if you look right there, there's no thrust vector controller there. It's just a strut. It's a strut attached to the thrust vector controller actuator mount, but it's just a solid piece of steel in its spot. Center engine doesn't move. It's fixed in the Saturn V design. The outer 4 engines, you know, they can roll, they can pitch, and they can yaw. Yeah, not a lot of people know that. Didn't that crossbar design contribute to some pogo issues? I'm not sure if the crossbar did that, but yeah. When Apollo 13 lost the center engine, was that not a huge deal only because they were already off the pad by a distance? Apollo 13 lost the center engine due to longitudinal pogo oscillation late in the ascent, weather guy. It was later in the ascent, and that's what saved them. Think about I mean, you think about later in the ascent on a first stage, right? Later in the ascent on a first stage means like after 60 seconds. So 60 seconds after liftoff. You're already well halfway through the first stage ascent regime, right? And they lost it like later in the regime. Like think about the Vulcan mission, SF-87. They lost the SRB on the way up, and now they did have to compensate for the performance for sure. The Centaur did the majority of the work there in that regard, but they still completed the mission. Apollo is the center engine on the S2. Point still stands. Yeah, you're right. It is. It wasn't the S1. It was the S2. How many degrees of freedom did F1 engines have? X and Y. The gimbal actuation is thrust vector control actuation. Coltec, at least, like the manner of actuation is pretty much the same. Like you have one hydraulic ram here. The engine's mounted on a gimbal, which is a really nice way of saying a universal joint, right? And then you have a TVC here and a TVC here. This one goes forward and back, moves pitch. This one goes forward and back, it controls yaw, and that's about it. The design really hasn't changed. Most engines do that nowadays. In fact, by most, I mean like all of them. The one exception would probably be like Soyuz. The RD-107 and the RD-108 uses vernier engines. But yeah. Do they use differential thrust as well or just thrust vector control? Cerebral, for the most part, TVC. But you can modulate with a vernier engine, like on an Atlas, you can modulate your modulate thrust by, you know, moving the vernier engine. But yeah, that's not that's a little bit too. That's not exactly what you're talking about, I don't think. Firefly Reaver engines do this. They can only go like this. They have one axis of control. But if you have 4 of them, right? You have these 2 Reaver engines doing this, and these 2 Reaver engines doing that, and then these 2 can also do this, and that gives you all axis of control. Greetings, are you actually in some sort of satellite control room, or is this some sort of edited background? Gaming Phantom, it's a green screen. I'm in my office, in my shop. But I like spaceflight, so... Gaming, one of these days, if I ever hit the megabucks, right? If I ever hit the lottery, I'll do this. I'll just make this a copy that I'll just walk away. I'll walk down that aisle there and just walk away. Just because it'd be really funny to do that. You know? But no, it's just a screen, dude. Looks good, right? Part of getting green screens to look good is to match the lighting correctly. I had to go... So mission control is lit up, but it kind of has kind of a dim thing going to it, so I had to match the lighting and the temperatures to it. And I think that that might be the reason why I look so weird on Flame Trench, but who knows. Did you see the Rook interview where he casually mentions that Blue Origin might take Viper to the moon? That wasn't new information, X-Wing, but it's cool to see Rook acknowledging it. Yeah, no, Blue Origin bought Viper. Which is, yeah, interesting. But anyway, let's, we need to get direct working, and I need my Orion capsule. So we need the Taurus capsule. I think I already loaded the Taurus capsule in. I'm building in the VAB right now, and I just saw 4 different Kerbals all walk into each other and attempt to hit something with all their hammers. Yeah. Do I have any tools? I need some Kerbal voices for a project. Where can I get them? Do the voices yourself. You can't just grab... You can't just take, like, the audio file from Kerbal and put it in your thing, Aitor. That's not... That's not... how that works at all. Yeah, Aitor, Kerbalese is just Spanish backwards. Big vent. Big vent. From Starbase Live. Alright, so we need to put this mission together here. So, I've identified what I want. I need... We're going to need HLV, Block 1. This is perfect. We can modify this. So, let's call this... B1S. Collins Transportation System, 5th generation heavy-duty vehicle block designed for 81 tons to Leo. Modified for LKO Lunar Ops. Updated. Last time I worked on this was November 11th, Veterans Day, 2022. Okay, so that's 3, 16, 26. Blue or SpaceX? I don't care. All of them, Chris. Don't choose. Choosing is stupid. Choosing is a false dichotomy that everybody makes you think is the right way to do things. It's not. We can have... If the spaceflight economy expands the way we want it to expand, we're not going to have to choose. There's room for potential unlimited growth in space. There's room for Blue and SpaceX to both do their thing. Okay. So, where's my avionics package on this? Avionics package is on the core stage, just like SLS. Nice. I just need to see how I threw this together. Okay. Alright, so we don't need our 81-ton mass simulator. Let me just see what the vehicle's overall mass with all this is connected. 719. This is not SLS, Ordon. This is direct. It's, well, it's not exactly direct because it doesn't have the proper engine section there, but it's direct adjacent, I guess. We could go down there and mess with that if we wanted it to look like direct engine section, but I think direct engine section looks stupid, but that's just my opinion. I like the 5-engine RS-68 from Ares 5. I think that looks good. All right, so let's dump this. We don't need that. All right, so now we have to design a Centaur stage for this thing. I heard you're gonna build a lunar base. Don't know who you heard that from. Direct adjacent. He sounds like an oxymoron. Yeah. Yeah, that does sound kind of funny, doesn't it? Yeah, Sam. Mm-hmm. I don't know, Chris. Watching it. I'm watching the NSF back channel if they need me. I don't think they do. All right. Let me see how I design this. Okay, so Centaur 5, let me see. Centaur. This is what we need here. We're building Aces or Centaur 5. We could... I think Centaur 5 would be good for this application. I could make it Aces later if we really wanted to. Interesting. Okay. Let me think. Yeah, there's the shorter baseline high energy Centaur. I want to use the high energy Centaur. That's what we want. We want CVHE. So we're 12.6 meters tall, 41 feet. And the diameter is 3.05 meters. So 3 by 12. All right. Oh yeah, element. I get right on that. You know what? We should just be able to build this thing here. Didn't you do a Vulcan a while back? I want to remake it, dude. Alright, so we have to do some quaccumulations here. Kerbal scale is about 61% in terms of, like, size of its real-life counterparts. So if we have a 3-meter upper stage, we'd need to do 3.05 times 0.6, let's say 0.62, because shuttle stack uses 6.2. So that means we need a 1.89. Oh. That's gonna look silly. 12.6 meters times 0.62. 1.8 by 7 meter. So we know that these things, these I-beams are 3 meters long. So we need, what was that number? I X'd out of it. That's Centaur 3? I was gonna say, oh, okay, yeah, we need Centaur 5. I was gonna say it's 5.4. I'm like, no, that can't be right. So 5.4, thank you, times 0.62 gives us a 3.34. Hmm. 7.8. That's 7.5, right? And we need it to be 3. So 5.4 times 0.62. 3.348. So that's 3. And then if I take this right here, .1, 3.2, 3.3. Huh. Okay. Damn, Centaur 5 is no joke, man. That actually will There's no way. Yeah, that's... Huh, let me just take a look. Yeah, that's about right. Because I know that this is scaled... If you notice, these are fairings, right? And they have tanks inside of them that give me the proper mass, right? Yeah, that's pretty much right. Now I'm wondering about Centaur, like... Is that length measurement the tanks? I'm pretty sure that length measurement is the full, with the engines attached to it. So a thing that would be similar to RL-10s would be the Cheetah engines, like this. That would be a KSP kind of equivalent. Prop load is underway. Dude, did you see any of the US versus DR game last night? No, I didn't. Frost vapors appearing. Okay. Hey, Kens. Hey, Red Panda, thank you for the raid. Could come in handy for Centaur 5 reference. Oh yeah, the payload user's guide. So here's what I'm worried about now. My Orion capsule, the Taurus, I don't think that is to scale with the rest of this. It's gonna look goofy. Hey, Red, fly safe. Thanks. Thanks, bud. It's gonna look goofy because, yeah, I don't know. Let me bring it in. Yeah, because an Orion capsule would be this diameter in Kerbal. It would be 3.3. And that capsule is not that. It's a 2.5 capsule with a 3-meter fairing around it. Booster 19 Frost. Okay. I'm thinking just for the sake of doing this, we could probably swing with making the Centaur small. I mean, it'd probably be the equivalent of putting like a dual engine Centaur 3 behind this thing. I think that would look, it would probably, let me see. Yeah, it would look a little weird, that's for sure. Huh. Thinking about how I want to do this. Build a new spacecraft? I said I'd be able to get this done quick. All right. We'll switch over to coverage here in a second. I'll think about how I want to do that later. All right, so that's going to do it for part 1 of this. We kind of went through a little bit of the con ops. Now I got to figure out the other vehicle that's going to go with this. We should put the lander in the shuttle. That'd be really funny. That'd be really funny to do, actually. We'll think about the other vehicle to launch the lander. But yeah, I'm running into a little bit of a proportioning problem here. But I'm pretty sure we have the Delta V margins either way. I could remake the fairing to make it look a little bit nicer, but I don't want to go re-engineering that crew capsule because that took a long time to get right, and I know it works, and it works really well. So making the Centaur just like 0.3 smaller in Kerbal might not make that big of a difference. But anyway. At the very least, we'll revisit this tomorrow. But now it's time to do some tank watching because SpaceX has started filling up Booster 19. So we're going to see what's going on there in the anticipation of a potential static fire here. So I'm going to jog the YouTube VOD, and we're going to go from there. I'll be right back. We'll switch over to Booster 19 coverage, and yeah, I'll see you in a second. On Twitch, don't worry, it's going to be a momentary loss of signal. On YouTube, or actually, no loss of signal. On YouTube, there will be a momentary loss of signal. I will be right back.